Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and this is your Premier League punters. What a weekend. The first weekend back, and the bankers are in, the double bankers. We might even go for triple bankers this week. But before we go any further, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. If you ring the bell, then we can make sure we notify you and you will never miss any content again. And also, if you press the link in the description, you can go over and read all the football articles from La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and obviously the Premier League punters. Well, it's the Premier League, so that means I've got Matt Lawrence and Martin Green with me. I want to come to you first, Matt. What a great weekend back, especially for a first one.
Absolutely. All bankers locked in, cashed in, and it was great. Really fun week. And I think we're seeing the board really well. I think there are a couple of gifts on this upcoming midweek card, and I'm excited to break them down with you guys as always.
Obviously, there was winners everywhere, but you can always rely on yours truly to throw a couple of dodge ones in. Norwich, no. Fade, Norwich, not even a naughty step. Out the window, in the bin. Martin, very disappointed that I threw Norwich into the hat.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocking one. Terrible performance from Norwich. I was on Southampton draw no bet there, and I did actually expect to see a lot more from Norwich on their first game back, considering they still have a chance of escaping the drop. But yeah, they were just horrendous. Danny Ings did what he does best, and Southampton were comfortable in the end. So I think we can definitely wave goodbye to Norwich for another season and keep fading them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few that we can fade. I mean, obviously, Villa struggled, not scored a goal. Bournemouth getting beat against Palace, which we rightfully pointed them in the right direction. And West Ham. Now, will West Ham's just rebound and give us a little bit? Because they're playing up against a side that they normally have good fortunes, Matt, this week.
Yes, yeah, I can't wait to break that one down too. Yeah, I don't know what to say about some of these squads. I think that we clearly have 3 or 4 fade sides, and we've got 3 or 4 bet on sides. So it's just about picking our spots and, hitting some more profit this week.
All right, well, let's crack on then. Freddie, you got them graphics ready, my lad, because we're going Leicester -127, the draw at +300, and Brighton at +400. Brighton fresh off a 95th minute winner and beating Arsenal 2-1, when obviously I went for Arsenal away from home. Matt?
Yes, I thought that this was the first layup that was kind of given this week. I really like this one. I know that Brighton got the job done against Arsenal, but the stats really don't back up that performance. Arsenal really deserved all 3 points, I think, and it just shows their frailties at the back line once more, really. And for me here, I mean, I had Leicester in that last fixture. Chilwell scores a screamer in the 89th. I think I've got all 3 points and a nice winner, and then they concede a couple minutes later against Watford. But I do think that match deserved to be a draw. I thought that Watford went toe-to-toe with them, and so I think draw was a fair result there. But, if you're going to give me a Leicester side here at this kind of price, I'm all in. I love this. I love this play, and it's Leicester -127 for me. Seems really fair.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Leicester -127, as in you're going to give Brighton a 127 goal start. Martin, I'm not complicating this. I'm with Matt. Leicester, they're going to parlay. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm going for Leicester too, making it a full house. It was they had a great start to the season, faded a bit. So I think the lockdown came at a good time for them. It's given them time to regroup, rally, and I think they're a strong finish for the season based on what I saw against Watford. Very impressive, and I think they'll beat a Leicester side. They'll beat a Brighton side that Arsenal should have beaten if they weren't so profligate in front of goal. Leicester will be more clinical, and I think they'll win this one.
Yeah, I think it's a Freudian slip. I think Leicester would definitely have beaten Arsenal as well, the way Arsenal are playing. Let's move on. Don't trust these two sides. But we got it right the other day, both teams to score and under 2.5 goals. It's Spurs at -115, the draw at +290, West Ham +350, Martin. I don't trust them. I've left the game alone.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting game. I was very disappointed by West Ham on their return. They didn't really show much against Wolves. Again, for a team that should be fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table. I think it's the old defensive frailties that could really come back to haunt them. They might have just enough attacking might to get them out of trouble. But yeah, I'd be worried for them coming up against the Spurs team that looked reasonably sharp against Man United going forwards anyway. Yeah, I think a draw was a fair result in that one. But West Ham are vastly inferior to Man United. I think Spurs will take 3 points in this one, so I'm going for the home team at -115 or 1.8.
I see. There's no goals, there's no unders, overs, handicaps, or anything at the moment. It's just straight lock, load, aim, fire, Matt.
I'm with Martin here. I just can't back this West Ham side. I think that Spurs should have enough. I really like their front three right now. I know that Kane, he did look a little bit leggy in that first match coming back. Hopefully he looks better here in the second one, but that Bergwijn, Son, Kane front three should really be too much for West Ham here. I understand where you're coming from too, Flash, by not fully trusting them. This might be a lineup checker, to be honest, but I think for right now, I think that at that price, Spurs look pretty good.
Okay, we've aimed and fired in the first two games. This could make it 3 out of 3 if you trust Man United at -138, draw +300, and Sheffield United at +500. And Chris Wilder came out, Matt, and said, we've played 2 games and we've not lifted a leg. We've been like a championship side.
Yes, this price has kind of drastically changed overnight a bit. United, I was looking at it yesterday, and yeah, it was right around this price. Today I woke up, it's like -250 now as we do this video. So it's a tough one. When I watched this United second half squad, wow, they were really impressive. They brought on all that attacking flair, and they were all over Tottenham. They probably deserved to grab all 3 points the way they played. I know that Martin and I talked a little bit on Twitter just about the water break and how much that probably helped Tottenham regroup there at the end, because United were all over them. So for this one, it's a pass for me at this price. I do think that this one can be close for a little while. And then I think if we do see that type of lineup in the second half for United, they should be able to get all 3 points here. Sheffield don't look like themselves after the break.
And obviously there were suspensions, a couple of injuries as well. Martin, do we trust Man United to put their best foot forward?
I do, yeah. It's been a poor resumption to the season for Sheffield United. They weren't really at the races in the opener against Aston Villa. And they were okay against Newcastle, but as soon as John Egan sent off, they folded like a house of cards. They'll miss him this game. And yeah, they haven't really shown much going forwards. I think Man United should get the better of them in midfield, especially if Pogba comes in alongside Bruno Fernandes. I think that's a very, very exciting midfield for Man United for the rest of the campaign. Like Matt said, they've just got plenty of attacking options. They can bring on some good impact substitutes in the second half. I can see them winning it by 2 goals, actually. So I'm going to go for Man United -1 Asian handicap at 1.74.
1.74, -1 on the Asian handicap. Okay. Newcastle, obviously they were the benefactors of Sheffield United going down to 10 men. They're at +150, draw +240, and Aston Villa at +200. And Villa have got to do something, and something quick, Martin.
Yeah, they really do. I think they were a little bit unlucky against Chelsea. They looked pretty strong for large parts of the game. Thought they could have got a result there, which really would have given them a good morale boost, but it wasn't to be. Chelsea were just too strong in the end. And yeah, I think Newcastle at home, they should be buoyed by that victory over Sheffield United. It was interesting to hear Steve Bruce afterwards say he doesn't feel like Newcastle was safe from relegation yet. So I think they'll be keen to get a result against 19th placed Aston Villa. At home, they've been pretty strong all season. Even without the Geordies going mad up there and supporting their team, I think they'll still enjoy playing at St James's Park. So, yeah, I think Newcastle, I'm not going to go for a full win, but I'll go for a draw no bet, 1.67.
Okay, I just thought that this might be an under 2.5 again. Obviously, you can't rely on Villa scoring up until the sending off. You didn't look like Sheffield United or Newcastle were going to score as well. So for me, it's under 2.5 goals again. If it's not broke, don't need fixing, Matt.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm kind of on Martin's side here again. I think that Newcastle, they actually looked pretty good, and their front three were. I've never seen this really from Newcastle. You know, when you have the likes of a Joe Ellington, Saint Maximum was the best player on the park by a mile, and then Almiron, you know, the guy who played in MLS a little bit, he has got that attacking midfielder like technique about himself, and it was a really nice front three. They've got a veteran midfield three. I'm leaning here. I'm leaning on Newcastle. I don't really want to bet on this match, really, but I lean Newcastle.
Okay, well, sometimes it's best just to leave it alone and move on because there's lower hanging fruit, and I fancy it might be in this game. Norwich plus 280, the draw plus 260, and Everton at plus 115. Matt, I've already gone. And in fact, I think that I wrote these obviously over the weekend. I think they're now like around plus 100 and maybe even a minus.
Yes, I've had like 15 weeks to practice my Norwich technique. You know how I was saying Norwich before the break?
Yeah.
And I've improved, but this squad has not. This is a gift at this price. I think that Everton tactically were astute against Liverpool. I think that Ancelotti set them up perfectly, and they had arguably the bigger chances in that match. They could have snatched and grabbed all 3 points. Norwich could have been beat 5-6-0 by Southampton. That second half was dreadful. I expect, under closed doors, this is a layup for me. I like Everton.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's another one of those aim, fire, and don't even complicate it, Martin.
Yeah, Everton were the Premier League side that picked up the majority of their points at home. I think they had the greater ratio of points at home to away out of any team in the league. So it could actually benefit them playing on the road when they're not having to deal with hostile crowds. I think they'll also have benefited from 3 months with Carlo Ancelotti, who is a world-class manager at the end of the day. He'll have more time to stamp his authority on this side now and plot a way for them to climb up the table. Yeah, I think they should be too strong for Norwich. They've got depth in midfield, plenty of attacking options. The price has gone in considerably. I think it's 1.98 now, but I'd still say that's worth it. I'd go for the away win here for Everton.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, another one that looks like an absolute shoo-in. Something it's going to give here, and I hope it's not ones that we're involved in, because it's Wolves at minus 117, the draw plus 275, and Bournemouth at plus 400. Martin.
Yeah, don't understand that pricing at all based on what I saw in the last game from these sides. It was a classic Wolves performance, very, very controlled. You always like to say, they strangle the life out of the game, but they've got big players that can come on and make a difference. Traore, that was a great cross. And then a wonderful finish for the to make it 2-0. They just look very comfortable. Wolves have got a pretty generous run into the season. I think they could really challenge for a Champions League place here. Bournemouth, considering how much they're battling against relegation, really, really poor lack of effort in that game. And yeah, it doesn't bode well for a trip to Molineux. So home win for me. Wolves 1-7.
Okay, Matt, it looks like it could be another one of those both teams to score nil. And again, Wolves. Remember, draw at halftime,
Yes.
Wolves full time.
Yep. I was just going to say that. You hit that one on the nail in the last one. Draw at halftime with Wolves, just like we always talk about. And second half, they come out and they're a different side because Traore checks in, and it just gives them that extra width on the sides, and it's really impressive. I rate Bournemouth very similar to where I rate West Ham, maybe even less attacking flair up top. This one, again, to me, it seems like a really good price on Wolves, and it's something that I've already locked in myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Now, Liverpool minus 450, the draw plus 600, Crystal Palace plus 1450. Palace have a good record here, but Matt, I think this is probably where Liverpool get another 3 points.
Yes, I think that they should be able to get the 3 points here. I think Salah will come back into the side. He didn't get a run in against Everton, which was very odd for me. Joe Gomez will probably feature at left back unless Robertson, returns to fitness completely. But for me, Palace, 4 wins in a row. They've kept 4 clean sheets. I think they're going to make it very difficult on Liverpool here. Asian handicap +2 looks pretty decent here, actually, on Palace.
What price is that?
Minus 140.
Okay. Getting two. Okay. I mean, it's probably a pass from me, to be honest, because I just don't see how I can pull the trigger, Martin.
Yeah, big fat parts for me too on this game. Liverpool a little bit underwhelming on their return to action. I thought they would edge Everton, but maybe they're a bit rusty from the long period off. Crystal Palace have a bit of a habit of beating the top teams in the Premier League. They've got a very good record against teams like Man City as well. So at that price, I don't really feel comfortable backing Liverpool or giving them a big handicap. But then again, they could give an emphatic performance. So I think best just to leave this one well alone.
Okay. Well, as your pass comes along, like buses, two come along at the same time for me, because Burnley at plus 175, draw 230, and Watford at plus 175. Martin, I'm leaving it alone again.
I'm going back in for Watford. I thought they could get a result against Leicester. They almost did. It wasn't a bad performance. I think they've had an extra couple of days to rest compared to Burnley, who are playing as we speak, getting drubbed by Man City. They're pretty much guaranteed to finish in mid-table. This Burnley side, they're not going to qualify for Europe. They're not in the relegation battle. Whereas Watford are fighting for their lives. They've seen teams around them picking up points like Brighton. I think it's time for them to really get back to, if not winning ways, I think the least they'll get in this one is a draw. So, yeah, it's Watford draw no bet for me at 1.84.
1.84. Matt, you like him? Watford away at Burnley, tough place to go.
Tough place to go, but there's no fans in the stands. So for me, it's definitely with the away side here as well. Watford draw no bet looks fantastic. Athletes, better athletes, bigger, stronger. They should be too much for Burnley. I'll definitely be checking this Burnley City result here at the end of this video, just see how Burnley even decided to turn up and whatnot. But I thought that Watford were really impressive actually against Leicester. Very organized. And when Sarr is in the lineup for Watford, their win percentage goes up drastically. They should be too much here for Burnley.
Yeah, they've got good players, to be fair. Okay, let's move on then. Southampton at plus 210, the draw plus 255, Arsenal plus 150. Looks like an Alex classic to me, but I couldn't tell you who's going to win. Matt.
Yes, these odds now it's showing that this is a full pick'em across the board. This is it's a pass for me. It's a pass. I want to play the overs with you, Flash. I think that this is an over match, but I just don't trust Arsenal right now in terms of scoring. I trust Southampton more. I'm leaning Southampton draw no bet. I really do trust this side more right now.
Martin, your beloved Arsenal, are you going to leave them alone?
I'm definitely not going to bet on the outrights. I'd be leaning towards Southampton, especially based on Arsenal's injury crisis. They should have won that game against Brighton. Aubameyang missed a ton of chances in the first half, and then it was classic implosion in the second half. Horrendous at the back. Lots of injuries. Bernd Leno's out now as well. I'm pretty sure they conceded this one. It finished 2-2 when these teams met earlier in the season. Arsenal were actually lucky to get a 2-2 draw in that one because Southampton were the better team. I do think we'll see goals. I don't want to go for the outrights. I'm just going to go for both teams. Score 1.68.
1.68, and I'm definitely going Alex Classic, to be honest. Now, the best game of the week, we've saved it till last. It's Chelsea plus 310, draw plus 300, and Man City at minus 110, Martin.
Great game. Really looking forward to this one. Two very good teams. Really interesting midfield battle that we can look forward to. They'll both be buoyed by their recent results. But 11 versus 11, without any fans in the stadium, I say Man City are the better team. More going forwards, more experience. Yes, they don't really have as much to play for. They're pretty much going to nail down second. But I think they're going to want to build up momentum for the Champions League. And I think they want to prove that they can beat top teams like Chelsea. So at minus 110, I'm going for Man City.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've already put Man City in a parlay, which I'll share with everyone in a while. Matt?
Yes, it's Man City here for me too. I mean, you're basically getting these two at a neutral site, really, in my mind. And Man City have just an abundance of talent, as we know. Currently, they're resting De Bruyne, they're resting Laporte, they're resting Sterling. So that extra rest might bode well. It's one of those things. It's against Man City, and I'm getting around evens. I feel like I have to take it.
Yeah, you've got to take it. You certainly have got to take it. And as I say, I've already put it in my parlay. Well, I'm happy to share with everyone in a while. Martin, give me your bets and a banker, please.
Yeah, sure. Just seen that Phil Foden's just put Man City 5-0 up against Burnley, so I'm feeling pretty pleased with those picks. Leicester versus Brighton. Actually, do you know what? I was going to go for Leicester and under 4.5 goals. You can get even money on that. Can't see there being a 5-goal thriller up there at the King Power. Tottenham straight win against West Ham, 1.74. Man United -1 Asian handicap against Sheffield United, 1.74 again. Newcastle draw no bet against Aston Villa, 1.67. Everton just to beat Norwich at 1.98. Wolves beat Bournemouth at 1.67. Watford draw no bet against Burnley, 1.84. Arsenal, Southampton, both teams to score, 1.68. And finally, Man City to beat Chelsea, 1.91. Banker, what am I going to go with as a banker? You know what? I'll pull the trigger on Everton to go and beat Norwich. And yeah, I mean, you could have a really good parlay, couldn't you?
Massive. You wait.
Wolves,
you wait.
Everton, Man City.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Matt.
Yes, for me, it's Leicester to win. Wolves to win. If you want to find more value, kind of like Martin touched on, you could take both those under 4.5 goals. I think that both of those will be safe. Everton hovering around evens right now, feels like a layup. Man City -110 right now. Those are my 4 best. It's really hard for me to even pick out one that I like more than one another. I mean, they all feel like bankers right now.
Okay, well, I'm going Leicester. Leicester, Everton, Wolves, Man City in a parlay with Man City -1 against Burnley, and they're 5-0 up. So my first leg's in, 4 legs to go for a 5-timer. Listen, boys, I don't know why, I've never seen this before, but I think it's possible that we could absolutely smash it. And there's going to be a few grenades going off if some of these get turned over. I cannot see it. I don't even think it's fingers crossed. I really don't. I think it's just, as we said, aim, fire, and let's hope that the teams do what they should be doing. So thanks, Matt. Thanks, Martin. I'll see you again at the end of the week.
Cheers.
So that's Matt and Martin going through the Premier League. I know that sometimes they say if it looks too good, it probably is. But hey, we're going to go for it, and we'll see you again soon. You take care.
Yeah, guys.